All right, everyone, welcome to After the Scales, episode 77. And I am Shaun Blight along with Jacob Dove of Phenom Motorsports. And today we're talking super modifieds. We've got three Oswego regulars here. And before I introduce them, I can't do it justice. So I've invited good friend, legendary Oswego Speedway announcer Roy Sova, who's going to introduce our guest here today. Starting third out of Fulton. In the number 20, he just came off the Supermodified Winged Championship. It is Kyle Perry. Perry in the 20. How's it going, bud?
How's it going?
And starting on the outside of the front row, he got his first feature win earlier this year out of Brockville, Ontario. In the number 94, it is Logan Rayvals. Rayvals in the 94. And starting on the pole, the driver out of Oswego, in the Ken's Auto Body, Oswego Quality Carpets, number 54, CAMDEN Proud. Proud in the 54. How's that?
Not bad.
I love
it. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Got a big week coming up next week. We wanted to talk about Classic Weekend, and maybe we'll kick off. CAMDEN, you're working with the Oswego Speedway. You do a lot of their social media stuff. Why don't you talk to us first from the track's perspective of what you got going on and what the Speedway's got to do to get ready for such a great event?
Yeah, obviously a huge weekend coming up. It's our only multi-day show of the year. Have 7 divisions coming to town. Should have a great field in all classes, really. Expecting over 30 supers. Our biggest SBS Classic field in years, 22 350s. I'm hoping a full field in NASCAR modifieds. Sport mods and super stocks are looking strong too, so we're looking forward to next weekend.
Now, Kyle and Logan, obviously the super modifieds are very technical race cars, a lot go into it. With a big race like the Classic, how much time really goes behind the scenes into preparing your cars for the weekend?
I mean, for me personally, we do maintenance weekly, but we're pretty much pulling a lot of the parts off, like drive shafts, putting new front bearings in the car, basically going through everything. And then, I mean, you have to figure out your tires, your rims, your fueling, kind of what you have planned if you got to stop to grab fuel during the race. I mean, there's a lot that goes into play for Classic. Just a lot of maintenance, really.
Yeah, for us, it's kind of the same thing too. I mean, we're not going 200 laps like the supers are. You know, the 350 race is only 50 laps, but still, that's pretty much twice as long as any other race we run all year. So, you know, figuring out what the car is going to do with more fuel than we ever run all year, and you know, like Logan said, making sure that everything is going to be able to stay together in a long distance race.
Yeah, so maybe we'll start with you, Kyle, because you just came off your first championship with the 350 Wing Super Modifieds. A class that's really been gaining steam the last few years, not only at Oswego, but kind of out on the East Coast. Talk to us about your season and how you capped it off last weekend.
Yeah, we started off the year really good. You know, week 1 we were second, almost. You know, we had a restart and a shot at Dave at the end, but couldn't quite get him. And then we won weeks 2 and 3, coming from 7th and 8th. And then, you know, I think we had a second and a third after that. And then all hell kind of broke loose a couple weeks ago. We ended up hitting the foam first lap of the feature one night, destroying our car. Was able to borrow a car the following week from the Barbera team to kind of help us out with points, and kind of the similar situation. We ended up hitting the foam with that car too. So bad couple of weeks there, but you know, the handicap helped us this week to finish second to kind of lock it up. So definitely experienced, you know, the highs of almost winning 3 in a row to the lows of not completing a lap 2 weeks in a row. So we definitely got to experience a little bit of everything this year.
And CAMDEN, you're coming off of a 6th place finish. Kind of talk to our viewers about that.
Yeah, 6, not great, but one of the better weeks we've had over the course of the past month. We've been really struggling, just trying to get a good balance on the car. The tires are honestly really bad this year. I think it's been a struggle for everybody. Everybody's kind of loose in and lacking drive out, and I've been wiped out after a few of these features. So we made some big changes, changed the nose wing. We're playing with shocks and springs and all that fun stuff, and at least had a drivable car for the feature last week. So we'll take that going into Classic. But it's been tricky this year.
All right, and Logan, I wanted to mention I've been trying to get you on for a few weeks, especially after you got your first super modified feature win. You were the first Canadian to get one, I think, since Doug Didero too. So that's going back a few years. Second generation driver. Talk to us about how much that meant and what how your season went overall.
Yeah, it meant a lot. I mean, I'm Canadian. I'm from Brockville, so I mean that's technically my home track. But I mean, Oswego, I've been going there since I was a baby. So I mean, it meant a lot for sure. My dad has 2 feature wins there. Something we've been close to for a while and never really got, and finally got it. And it was a big deal for me for sure. We put a lot of work into our car and a lot of time, and it was nice to kind of have that all pay off eventually. Yeah, I was ecstatic. I was very happy.
So unfortunately, myself, I've never been able to go to Oswego Classic yet in person, but I've seen it, on TV, and you guys have taken a lot of time, energy, and effort to race this big race. It's kind of like the Daytona 500 for super modified. So just talk about the fan experience. A lot of people show up, a lot of the locals, a lot of people travel even from Canada, like Shaun, to come down and watch. Just talk about the overall experience and that vibe that you get on Classic weekend.
Yeah, I mean, actually, this year recently, there's been a lot of Canadian fans that have came up after the races compared to previous years. I mean, it's cool. Classic has always been a big deal for my family. I mean, just starting off Thursday, we usually practice, and then going into qualifying on Friday, and then Saturday you have the day off, and you go watch the wheeling mods. And then you kind of take 4 or 5 hours in that day just to go through the car quick, prepare yourself for Sunday, and then Sunday's early morning, practice, full fuel runs, and then you take the green flag, and it's an experience. I mean, it's something I think everybody should try to go to at least once.
I would just say, just the pageantry of the race, lining the cars up on the front stretch, the national anthems, all that stuff is kind of unique because it's not stuff that you see at Oswego on a weekly basis. It's a little different for the 350s because, our show is all on Sunday. So we time trial Sunday, and then, we got about an hour and a half break, and then we're lining up on the front stretch for our race. So a little bit different, strategy-wise compared to that. And like I said, obviously going 50 laps instead of 200. But still, it's definitely a race that if you're a 350 driver, it's one you've got circled that you want to win.
Yeah, I mean, that Classic's been my whole childhood, as is the Speedway here. And it still feels surreal just being able to compete in that race. I'd like to qualify a little bit better for it and put ourselves in better position to be there at the end, kind of run and hang out in the top 10 for the whole race, and then hopefully have some tire left to compete for a top 5 at the end of the race would be my goal this year. We have not had a lot of luck in this race. It hasn't been kind to us. So tires, fuel cells, torque arms, all sorts of stuff going around the last few years. So it's a very special, important, meaningful race to me. I just like to put ourselves in position to have some success in it this year.
Yeah, Logan, you mentioned it's an early morning. I started going to the Classic, I think I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I never went into the pits like in the morning to watch your guys practice and fuel runs and that stuff. I started doing that when I started doing the photography thing. And man, it's so cool. Like you're smelling methanol first thing in the morning, walking around eating hot dogs at 10 a.m. You guys get the, Camden, you've been doing this a few years, maybe a few more than Logan with the super modifieds. You still get the pre-race jitters? Like, is it one race where you maybe feel a little different than the other times of the year?
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Just walking over the podium and, standing on the front stretch for the anthems and everything, you'll get the pre-race jitters. There's a lot of cars there. That's by far our biggest race, highest paying, highest car count. You got guys like Bobby Santos, coming in. There's some big names there. It's a little intimidating, especially when you're starting mid-pack like I have been the last few years. Got a long way to go, nothing but really good cars and a lot of talent in front of you. So it's just cool. I mean, it's just neat to be a part of it. I'm sure Logan could speak to that a little bit more. I watched Logan start a few classics before I even ran. So, yeah, and his dad. So they probably can speak more to that than me.
Yeah, I mean the front stretch. I can definitely say it's that the nerves go a little bit. Just seeing all those guys out there, like you said, Santos. I mean, that he's obviously, when you think of pavement racing, he's like one of the top guys. And I mean, even just Oswego Weekly guys like Otto, Barnes, Thompson, now Josh Sokolic, like there's some good competition. And it's such a long race. Like the first 150 laps, it's kind of, you're riding around just waiting for the maybe 60, 50 laps to go. And hopefully by that time you still have a little bit of tire to do something. It's a very technical race. Trying not to use too much fuel. You got to keep your tires. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's a huge deal.
Now, for our viewers that might not know, if this is their first time watching and learning about super modified in the 350s, I guess we'll start with Kyle. Just kind of talk about how you got into racing. Then we'll go with Logan and then Camden. Just explain to our viewers how you got into super modified racing, 350s. And, these cars are very technical, I think they're one of the coolest looking race cars out there on pavement. So, yeah, kind of just tell us your kind of backstory.
Yeah, so I grew up going to the Speedway, pretty much since I was born. My uncle had a Tulip race there for years. My dad's worked on, the Bellinger crew for over 40 years, starting with Eddie. He's a big part of Eddie B in 83. So, like I said, I've kind of been going there ever since I was born. And then I started racing quarter midgets when I was 5. We ran those for about 10 years, so I was about 14, 15. Then we actually started racing dirt. We went to the dirt side, ran a bunch of dirt sportsman stuff for a few years. And then about 2019, it was just before COVID, when they were first starting the 350 class. Bellinger had a car that they ran, I think the last time it hit the track was 2013 or 14. And Brandon was in a different car, so his brother Jared was running. And throttle stuck one night, hit the wall going into one. And he was knocked out in there, so they had to cut the roll cage off to get him out. So the car sat for 7 years after that. So my dad and I, we went and got the frame from them, bent up a roll cage, and kind of started piecing it together. And that was our COVID project. It was getting this car back to running, and it's been a great 350 so far. We've had a lot of success with it, especially the last couple of years. So they're just. There's nothing really like a super modified, whether it's a big block or a 350. They're just really, the coolest cars on the planet, I think.
I started racing go-karts. I actually started pretty late. I think I was like 15 or 16, just at Brockville and a little bit Lafargeville, Oswego. And then I got into NEMA midgets and ran throughout New England. Did that for probably 2 or 3 years. And then we actually swapped cars with the Locks. We took the car that Randy Riskus was driving at Oswego, and they took my NEMA Light. And then I had my first season there, my first real season. We did okay. I think we had a 4th, was our best finish. And we ran a couple of years, and we had COVID, so we had a year off. And then, I mean, since then we've been racing supers. We've struggled a little bit with our setup. We've had some good nights, but we've had a lot of bad nights too. But these last 2 years, this year and last year have definitely became more consistent. This year's probably our best as far as consistency. But yeah, I mean, it's been just go-karts, midgets, and supers. I've done a little bit of dirt micro sprint stuff. But other than, it's been supers and midgets for the majority of my racing.
Yeah, my dad Tim was one of the first limited super competitors up here. He built his own frame back in '93, raced limiteds from '94 to '97, and then supers from '98 to '02. I have vague memories watching him run the supers. He kind of hung up the helmet for a bit and went quarter midget racing with me. I did that for 12 years, and then we built a new SBS car, which is a twin car to my uncle Chris's Proud car that he ran for years. He got a bunch of wins in the SBS class, and I brought that out in 2014. We ran that 5 or 6 years, bunch of podiums, lots of seconds, but no feature wins. Ended up getting a Pat Strawn hot car, ran that for a couple years, and just didn't really have the success we wanted with it. We were looking to get out of supers at the end of 21, and then Doug Didero retired and gave us a great deal on his really potent car that he designed to finish his career with. And without him, I wouldn't be racing supers now, and gave me the chance to get a feature win. And this year we're more consistently a 6th to 10th place car, but the opportunity he gave me has given me the opportunity to run up front and get some podiums and top fives in both top and tail wing super modified racing. So that's kind of where we're at now, and just have a really good piece to work with and having fun with things, but it's challenging, this track surface and the tires, and we'll just keep plugging away at it.
So they were talking on the broadcast last weekend, for those that didn't see it, Camden, about your small block super and the possibility of your dad running it at the Classic. And they were saying if he's not going to run it, you're going to run it. Any progress on that? And any decisions been made? What's going on there?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we're running it. I told my dad I'm putting tires on it if we can't get a tire sponsor. After how it ran, and I think it was July, we just pulled it out for 1 week, started 12th, finished 3rd. I think if the car was a little bit less snug, we would have won it. I just want to win with the car. My dad got a feature win in 22 with it. My uncle has like 8 wins in that class. I know I got the super modified win, which is awesome, but I really want to join them on the SBS win list. So if my dad doesn't feel like driving it, then yeah, I told him I'll do it. And unless, knock on wood, barring anything catastrophic in testing Classic week with the super, we should have both there. So I'll put him in it and let him go for the Classic win. He can do that, but one of these days I want to get it back out and try to get a SBS win myself too.
Yeah, Camden, you mentioned about winning. Wanted to ask Kyle with the 350s and Logan with the super modifieds. Probably the most important question, but if you guys were to win during a Classic weekend in your respective classes, what would that mean to you, your family, your team, your sponsors? Just talk about that.
And how you would celebrate. Let's throw that one in there too.
Yeah.
I'd be very hungover. I know that. Try not to kill my liver. But yeah, I mean, obviously, all I wanted to do growing up was just race a super modified. I never even envisioned myself being able to run them as long as I have, or be as competitive as we have been at times. Just to get a win in one is awesome, but to win the Classic, I mean, that's like the pinnacle of super modified racing. That'd be the ultimate goal. I think Logan, Kyle, they'd answer the same way. Winning on Classic weekend would probably be the greatest day of any of our lives and something we'd cherish forever. And then just get majorly effed up afterwards, of course.
I mean, that's going to happen, win, lose, or draw, right?
Sure. Probably. Usually when you come to town, it does. So
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That would definitely be the highlight probably of my life. Just growing up, going to Classic, seeing all these guys win, seeing some upsets, and knowing that maybe one time that might be you is exciting to think about, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I would be ecstatic. I might retire if I went Classic. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Logan just hit on it perfectly with the upsets. Classic weekend is one of those weekends that, whether it's the 350 race, the SBS race, or the actual Classic, it's one of those races that really anything can happen. There's been a bunch of crazy stuff that can and will happen. So I think, to win the 350 race would be, kind of a good, cap in our feather for the season that we've had. We haven't really had great luck in this race. we started on the pole. I think it was in 22 and ended up finishing third. It's tough to beat Jeffrey Battle in this race. I mean, he's got this place pretty much nailed down, and he's definitely the guy to beat. So it's a great measuring stick, when he comes to town to kind of see, how good are we really and what we need to work on. So beating him would definitely be really cool. And I can attest to what Camden said. We'd be drinking a lot of 21 tequila after that. So.
And Kyle, are you still running Fulton tomorrow?
Supposed to be, yeah. So we're gonna run the Summerfest race on the dirt tomorrow at Fulton. We've ran probably about 10 races on dirt this year. Weedsport, Brewerton, and Fulton. We've got a bunch of top fives. I think we've got 7 top fives in 10 races, or 6 top fives in 10 races, something like that. Had a couple seconds at Fulton. So, yeah, we're gonna get the dirt car out and kind of this fall we're gonna focus on that once Oswego's over. We'll race the big, Victoria weekend at Fulton, and maybe we'll see about Dirt Week. Who knows?
All right, so we really appreciate you guys coming on. I know all of you have stuff you've got to do, and since there's 3 of you, we do have our rapid fire segment. We got 10 questions for you guys. We wanted to start it a little earlier since there are 3 of you, so we'll just go around the horn. We'll maybe do Canadians first. Logan, and then maybe Kyle and Camden, if we want to go in that order. I got 10 questions for you. Let each of you answer before we move on to the next question. So, Logan, we'll start with you. What is your earliest memory at Oswego Speedway?
Wow. My earliest memory would be I was probably, I don't know, between 8 and 9, just going up to the stands. Usually I would probably sleep in the stands. But just being around, seeing my dad out there. I think it was the 2002 Classic in the SBS. My dad won. That was probably my earliest and best memory from Oswego.
I'd say my earliest memory is, walking up the back grandstand with my mom on Classic Sunday and, watching practice at 9 o'clock, rooting on my uncle, Halla Tulip. And that was probably 3 or 4, but definitely one of my earliest memories. And it's kind of that day that all summer you look forward to was Classic Sunday. So
I would say for me, same year as Logan, 2002, but instead of winning, I remember an awful wreck my dad had in the Super down the backstretch, climbing the wall and seeing the bottom of his car and my grandmother flipping out in the grandstands. That's the earliest memory I have.
All right, so we'll keep the same order going. Outside of family, who were some of your racing heroes growing up?
I would say probably, this is my dad for sure. My grandfather, he raced dirt modifieds a long time ago at Brockville. I didn't really get into the big races like IndyCar or Formula One or sprint cars or anything until later. So I would have to say my dad and my grandfather for sure.
Growing up, I was always a big Tony Stewart fan. It's actually where the number 20 came from. When he was driving the Home Depot car, I was a big Tony Stewart fan, so decided to be number 20, when I was running quarter midgets and stuff, and it just happened to work out. It was 02 backwards, so had them both covered.
At Oswego, for me, definitely Otto. I was cheering for him a lot right before I started in Super still. Gozik, Didero, Timmy Snyder. We've always been good friends with the Snyder, so good memories watching them growing up, and actually real good memories of watching Logan's dad, too. They used to park the hauler a couple blocks around the corner from the house, so I actually always cheered for Craig when I went to the races as a kid, too.
All right, so what is the best thing to do in your respective hometowns?
Oh, Brockville's not exactly the biggest town. There's a lot of retirement homes in Brockville, but geez. When I was a kid or I was in high school, I would just kind of be playing hockey and hanging out with my buddies, drinking beer. That's pretty much it. Playing golf, playing hockey, racing at the Brockville Speedway and the go-kart. Yeah, that sums up my life in Brockville.
Let's see. In Fulton, I'd say the summertime probably definitely catch a race at Fulton Speedway. You get some of the best big block guys around come here. In the wintertime, I mean, the high school basketball coach here, so I mean our games are pretty fun. So I guess in the wintertime, come to one of our basketball games.
Yeah, in Oswego, obviously the racetrack, college town, a lot of bars. We have a new brewery, Old City Hall. Trying to empty the tap wall at that place. So that's fun to do. Just drink some beers, hang out on the water, watch race cars. That's about it.
All right, so this one you guys might be unanimous on it, so you can just shout out the answer if you're all in agreement. What's the best post-race classic weekend party? Where's the go-to spot?
I mean, for me, I always grew up going to the Swamp at Classic. So I'd say the Swamp for sure.
I would say whatever campsite or whatever party has the coldest beer. I would say that's where I'm headed.
Yeah, I'll echo Kyle's answer. Usually I've been starting in the pits the last few years. They have the DJ, and then just kind of stumble my way out back and see where the biggest party is after that.
All right. A song that pumps you up before the races.
To be honest, I don't really listen to anything before the races. I'm kind of a little, I don't know. I guess you could say try to lock in a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for that, to be honest with you. I don't really listen to any music before a race.
Well, I listen to all different sorts of music. Depends on my mood. But definitely like before races and before I'm getting ready for a basketball game, it's definitely some kind of rap to get me kind of in the right mindset. And
same as Logan for me. I couldn't tell you the last time I've listened to music on race day. Just kind of lock in. I don't know. I had to check like my rock heavy metal playlist. If it was anything, it'd probably be that. But it's been a while.
I'll sing something for you, get you pumped up, Camden. Don't worry, I got you. All right. Pet peeve driving your street cars.
Pet peeve. Okay. Definitely when cars sit in the passing lane on the highway. That I hate for sure.
I would say cars that go the speed limit or a little bit below it.
Yeah.
Got to at least be going 5 over, or else you're going to be in my way.
Yeah, same as Kyle. Everything. I have horrendous road rage. I'm impatient. Red lights, people sitting too long at stop signs, not using their blinkers, just all the above, and especially not going the speed limit.
All right, I got a couple more here for you. All right, so for super modifieds, what do you prefer? Top wing, tail wing, no wing?
I mean, I haven't put the top wing on yet. Our plans to do Evans Mills, but I haven't raced it, but I think I would probably prefer the top wing just because all the downforce. But I mean, before we even went to the new wing package, I definitely liked the old style Oswego tail wing.
So I've only obviously ever driven the 350 with the wings, and I've ran a couple races in John Cloca's big block, with the Oswego configuration. I prefer the Oswego configuration, especially like with the 350s, we're pretty much locked down to the track where you're almost wide open. So I think anything that can, gives you less downforce and you're sliding around a little bit more and puts it more in the driver's hands, I think is a better show for the fans.
Right now, I'd probably say top wing just because our car's running better with the top wing. We took it to Evans Mills and it was great. Really good out of the box at Oswego too. First time I did it last year. So for whatever reason, I didn't really have the learning curve with the top wing that I've had to have with the tail wing, but I like them both. I just like super modifieds.
All right, so speaking of wings, we got a couple Central New York guys here. Best wing flavor?
I mean, I will say as a Canadian, we don't have very good wings up here or wing flavors. So just the regular buffalo. I feel like the buffalo sauce in Canada sucks. So just a normal buffalo from New York State is great.
I got to go with some type of garlic parm.
I just like the Lighthouse lanes, mild or medium after the races. That's always good after a long night.
No honey hot guys, all right? All right. All right, two more. If you could pick one current non-super modified driver to race a super modified, who would you want to see get behind the wheel of one?
I would say probably Kyle Larson for sure. That would be pretty cool. I think he would definitely do good out of the box.
Yeah, I would definitely say a guy like Kyle Larson or like Christopher Bell. Just to kind of see what their thoughts were and see what they thought of the horsepower and just kind of the nature of the supers.
I was going to say Larson too. He was the first one that came to mind, but I'll go Tony Stewart. John Nicotres tried to make that happen quite a few times, and I guess Larson's sort of like the modern day Stewart. So it'd be cool to see Tony finally run a super up at Oswego. He's done it elsewhere, but to see him run here would be cool.
I saw Tony run one of
Cayuga?
Cayuga for one of Lichty's supers.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
All right. I got one more, and this one's specifically for Camden.
Great.
I know how much he loves dirt racing. So which is better, dirt Oswego or pavement Oswego?
Yeah, pavement.
Yeah.
I'll answer for everybody.
Especially, I mean, the dirt kind of screws us up a little bit, but for sure the pavement. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a little poke in there for the pavement guys because I know the pavement versus dirt, it's real. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys, really appreciate you coming on. Hope we didn't keep you too long. We'll see you all next week, and good luck to all you guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.